Ready, Nick?
Yep. What do you think you're getting, Brett?
Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Public to be heard is none. Am I right?
Correct.
All right, I'm up. Good news. All right, from the high school, Lisa Robinson. I just want to thank everyone who supported the recent dress down events at the high school. It was a great way to come together and support our colleague. Let's see here. From the middle school, Andrea Smith. I want to thank my BMS work family as they continue to support me and breast cancer awareness. Dr. Crine started by ordering a support squad t-shirt. She shared the link and it was amazing to see how many others also joined in. Each Wednesday, BMS staff members wear pink to support those of us who are fighting to honor those who lost their battle and to bring awareness about prevention and getting screened. Thank you, BMS. And from Robert Morrison Jackson, Principal Nataro, students have enjoyed learning and emotional regulation from Mrs. Searles. She is doing a fantastic job with our students and they are learning so much about SEL. Thank you, Christy. And there's plenty more good news on our website, so please take the time and look at that. I appreciate that. Next up, Winter Guard trip presentation, Miss Shannon Melander.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon, Winter Guard Director. I presented last year, too, so just a really quick overview of what the Winter Guard program looks like. There you go. Good. Got it. So, just our only competitive group from our fine arts is our Batavia Winter Guard. We have a kind of varsity and a JV. It's more like high school, and 5 through 8 is our JV. So we work with the middle school quite a bit as well to kind of build our program and keep it going. We compete locally, but every other year we like to compete in Winter Guard International. We did last year, we did really well, we had a great time, and in order for us to kind of stay in that, even though we're not going to go to the championships in Dayton in April, we do like to attend one regional event to kind of keep our name in it. So we are hoping to go to Salem this year. I feel like I'm okay. So to stay relevant, as you've heard me, so we're hoping to go to Salem this year. The trip, the competition is on the 15th, so we would leave on Friday from school in the afternoon, and then we would arrive that evening. We usually have some sort of dance practice in the hotel, and then on Saturday we will have 2 competitions, a preliminary competition and then a finals competition amongst Winter Guards from all over, but a lot of people from the Northeast usually come to that regional particularly. We did go to this regional in 2019 when Ms. Haggett was here. My already graduate was just started in the varsity guard that year, and it was great. It's at Salem High School, whose mascot is the Salem Witches, which is kind of interesting, but a really great school, huge regional. So we're hoping to go there, and then we would compete the 2 times, stay overnight, come home on Sunday, pull over the trip. Some things that will help our members cover their cost of their trip are our fundraisers. We're hoping to do Good Hawk. It might be a different company because I think their prices went up from last year. We'll do a calendar fundraiser. Our Winter Guard show in February will help us, and then we usually do a Batavia's Original fundraiser. We were also able to sell concessions at the sectional game for the football team, so that helped as well. We take our staff as well as myself. We're all first aid trained, and also I'm mom trained, so that's usually helpful. We have everything we need, and when you go to the competitions, they always have EMS there as well. And our color guard right now, this season, it changes because of kids graduating and other kids coming in. We have 13 members. We just started our season last week in full effect. So they're really excited. We're ready to go and compete. And we're going to be doing 6 local shows as well.
Where's the home show?
The home show is February 1st. Here, I don't know how many guards, but it'll probably be big. It's the only show that weekend in our circuit. Last year, we had 25 guards from Northeast New York State. So
And that's one of-
it's a big fundraiser,
That's
but
what I'm
it's
saying,
also
that's one of the fundraisers, right?
it's a big fundraiser for the music program too. It helps with our scholarships that we give out for the music boosters at the end of the year as well. Any other questions?
Any questions at all? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right, I'm going to need a motion so that we can approve the Winter Guard trip as it was presented to us. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Ms. Lindberg, can I have a second? Mr. Roll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right, next up, CPL Architects, Mr. Trott,
Yes.
Mr. Garrido, Campus Construction Management, Mr. Humphrey, and Ms. Thompson. Gonna give us a little update on our capital project.
Exactly, thank you. So I'm Brian Trott. We haven't seen you guys in almost a year since the vote passed. And so we're here tonight just to give you a quick progress to date update, a schedule overview, and then an update on the budget. So with this, if you've got any questions, just please ask. We don't need to wait till the end. Our project progress, phase 1, the construction documents are completed. They've gone into the state education department, and we're waiting for approval on that phase.
How long does it take?
The state education department takes
Yeah.
approximately 8 months.
Whoa, okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, 6 months for the review of the technical review of the architects and engineers, and unfortunately about 2 months for the fiscal associate, our project manager, to approve.
Okay.
Yeah. Phase 2, the design development documents were completed, so we put most of the scope on the documents. We paused and we turned to our partners at campus, asked them to do an estimate. And in that process, we went through 3 rounds of user groups, updated the facilities committee, and we studied how aidable the project would be with our New York State aid. Right now, we've moved through that phase of design development, and we're into the construction document phase. And phase 3, the majority of that project, design development, will start next month. We'll get a kickoff with the district, and we'll start talking about which user groups and scope. So that's the big picture. You guys will remember that the primary focus of this project was to make Robert Morris an early childhood center and start moving the grades 5th grade all the way down through kindergarten into the subsequent school behind it, allowing us to create some space in the middle school for the programs they so desperately need the space for. I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Hector to go through some more detail on the scope.
My name is Hector Garrido. I'm the project manager on this project. Very excited to be here and then present the progress we've been making on this project. So as Brian already spoke, phase 1, we're going to go by school, all the different work that we have. So phase 1 is, as we spoke already, is roof work. So Robert Morris is getting some roof. Phase 2, one of the things you'll notice in phase 2 work is that it'll repeat at some of the other schools as well as PA clock and things we do like IT infrastructure. So I won't get into a lot of that as we go into other schools. But you see we're doing a lot of work to some of the existing kindergarten rooms, UBK, OTPT room. We're doing full gym renovations and some masonry repairs outside, canopy work. And then we have some floor plans here. You'll see anything in gray is stuff that we're not touching. There's no work being done. Anything that has a color in it, that's areas of the building that are being touched with some of the work. You see the cafeterias and the room spaces. As you'll see by the color in the main floor, the first floor, it's a lot of work being done in the classrooms and the gym. And then the second floor is more of a reference. We're showing you this more for reference. There's no work being done in terms of renovation work, but some of the functions of the spaces are being moved up to the second floor too, so that we can do the scope of work. John Kennedy, the previous school, we have again some roof work being done here, and then some of the phase 2 work, again going back to some of that fire alarm PA that some of the schools are getting. Phase 3, we're doing, you see there, gym divider removal, JV softball field minor upgrades, loading dock, repairs on the exterior. Jackson Primary School is mostly in the second phase. Again, a lot of the PA work and whatnot, and some exterior repairs in the building. The middle school, as part of phase 2, we're doing some GNT or gender neutral restroom work. We're adding some bathroom basically to the building. And again, some of that same typical fire alarm, blue light. And then phase 3, we have some parking lot improvements and again, some work on the gym divider. The high school has been part of the phase 1, which has some roof work. Again, phase 2, some of the stuff we talked about, the blue light, fire alarm system. And then phase 3, this is sort of the bigger one of the site work that we're doing. We're doing the turf fields, doing some outdoor renovations, some bathrooms, and boiler system replacement. And then this is an image of what we're doing with the turf fields where we got the softball and baseball. And then last but not least, the Richmond Library, we're doing storefront and hardware replacement, front door to the building, and then we've got some miscellaneous improvements throughout the building to make this improvement. And then talking about facing, we're going to hand it over to Allison.
Yeah, any questions on that overall big picture scope of work?
The only question that I have is looking at the Robert Morris first floor
Yeah.
scope of work. Are we adding another UPK to this? Because all the UPKs here that are already at Robert Morris are in gray, and then there's a new UPK here in green. Is that a new
Can
UPK?
you go back to that connector? Let's take
Sorry.
a look.
It's kindergarten?
So, yeah, one thing,
You see up there at the top of the green?
yeah.
There's UPK, and then the ones that are in gray you explained were the ones that are
That should
there.
be, yeah. So that should be a kindergarten classroom.
That's a kindergarten, not a UPK.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you notice, because Ms. Benedict,
Mhm.
you remember the UPK and the kindergarten have flip-flop
No,
sides.
wait, I'm sorry. I
I
got to
think,
backtrack on that. No,
Yeah.
it's, there's 4 UPKs. So there's UPK 1, UPK 2, UPK 3, and the top left is UPK 4. It's just in different colors. So there are only 4 UPK classrooms.
yeah.
And how does that UPK feel being not with the other UPK group? No, it's, the other 3 are in the gray, and this one is in a completely different,
Yeah, we did vet that with
Corridor.
the users
Yeah.
and talk about that a little bit. It wasn't an issue, but we can go back and ask one more
oh
time.
no,
just to
I
make
just
sure.
wanted,
Yeah.
I guess I wanted to hear
I'd
you
rather,
say.
I'd rather second guess.
Okay.
And let's make sure we ask that question and that, because we're still at the point where we can make a change if we need to.
Right, right.
So we'll ask that question.
Well, from, my experience, they all like to be together.
They do, they do. Okay, yeah, we'll ask that question. We're in that phase of the project, we can
Okay.
still do that, so thank you
Okay.
for that.
Sure.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, now we'll go to Allison.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize, that's why we're here.
All right, so looking at the project schedule, so as we went through, we have 3 phases that we have for this project. Phase 1, we are already done with the design phase. As Brian said, we're in SED review. We're looking to award contracts in the winter of 2024. So as soon as SED approves of everything, we're able to award the playground contract as well as all the roofing, get everything ordered. Construction is slated to start in the spring of 25. So we're looking to do the playground renovations the spring, summer of 2025, and then we have all of the roofing scopes of work at the 3 buildings beginning in the spring, heavy over the summer, and then finishing up detail work in the fall time as the weather allows, but then also finishing up any additional detail work that's needed for the spring of 26, and then slated to do project closeout and final cost reports right on track to meet with aidability concerns. Phase 2, we are still in the design phase. We're looking to submit to SED by the end of this calendar year. Right now, we're slated to bid and award the project in the fall sometime. So as Brian stated, it's 6 to 8 months, anywhere in between there, that we could get reviewed and approved. And then we're looking to bid and award that project. We're thinking September, October of 2025, and then starting construction right away with all the scope of work for phase 2. Right now, substantial completion is targeting towards the fall of 2027, and then construction closeout, final cost reports will be submitted by December of 2027. Phase 3, design phase, is going to start up here in December. Still on track for SED review to be submitted in the spring of 25, hoping to bid an award in the fall or in the winter of 25-26. Construction starting in spring of 26, and then again close out with everything in the end of 2027, so December. So we're still right on track as far as everything goes with the project schedule for aidability for you guys. Next for project budget, so phase 1 is right around $10 million with all the scope of work that we got, including incidentals and construction contingency. Phase 2 is targeting right around $20 million, and then phase 3 is a little over 15. So we're still right on track and on budget with everything for the project, even through all of our user group meetings that we've had. So right now, we're still right on target as far as the budget goes of the $45 million. Any questions?
Any questions, guys? Yeah. Thanks, folks.
Okay, thank you. Terrific, thank you. Have a good rest of your meeting.
Thank you.
Nice job.
All right, next up,
Unless you want.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Dr.
Oh, I'm
Crine.
sorry, I skipped. Dr. Crine, you're up. Sorry about that.
That's okay. All right, well, we are really happy to be here to give updates about what has been happening thus far this year at BMS. Over the summer, we considered a lot of feedback from students, families, teachers, administrators, and our top priority for this year, starting the school year, is to ensure that we have a safe school. And the rest of our goals are really about rebuilding and refocusing a lot of different initiatives at the middle school, but building relationships with the BMS community and students, faculty, community, and teachers, establishing expectations, systems, structures, and processes, strengthening the school culture, and most of all, bringing some fun and having some fun because they are children. And we have done a couple of different things so far to just pull kids together, just to build that community, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. So our primary focus this fall has been really around the district goals 1 and 2. And as we continue to grow with creating a safe school, we can't wait to outgrow that goal and shift to becoming a welcoming and culturally affirming school environment. We're building in lots of opportunities for teachers, students, and families to be collaborative as we are working to achieve our goals. Our focus with teachers is to really implement a multi-tier systems of support for students, and student management has been our primary focus. We reconstructed our assistant principal and our counseling office instead of being separate and working really sometimes doubly on the same initiatives with kids. We kind of decided to break it up and have a 5-6 office with counselor and AP and a 7-8 office with counselor and AP, and that's really just for proximity. That's such a close working relationships between administrators and counselors and student support teams. Having them be in the same location has really helped to foster collaboration with students. We are really focusing on how teachers can respond when students struggle in classrooms, and we've been working to define what classroom managed behaviors are, counselor managed behaviors, and we're increasing teacher capacity to provide student supports within the classroom. We do have a handout that just kind of shows a little bit of what we're focusing on with our teacher focus, and as we are building our strategies and systems of supports. And I'm going to let Kristen talk a little bit more and refer to the teacher packet.
Thank you. So our teacher focus has been on our professional learning communities, where we're building a foundation through the focus of learning academically and behaviorally. And our PLCs use the same lens of 4 questions at each grade level. If you look in your packet, there are 4 questions. Each of our grade levels is focusing on, as we think about how our kids can best be supported, what should kids be able to know and be able to do? How will we assess progress to mastery? How will we respond when students struggle? And what do we do systematically? As you look through the packet, these are examples of the work that's being done. And we are digging deeper in the last month or so around classroom managed behaviors and how we can support students doing the right thing. So as you continue to go through the packet, the last page or so walks you through classroom managed behaviors. We're sort of in the initial stages of thinking about this and really working with our staff to boil this down to essentials, to work in progress. Relationships matter at BMS. We have to have collaborative, cooperative relationships, and we're trying to focus on grounding our teachers in positive relationships. And so in order to do that, we're providing a framework and guidance through daily communication, guidance in working with students around student management, how to vet students when they're struggling, how to help them over those hurdles, restorative practices to repair relationships, mediations, students to students, teachers to students. It's all around developing that community and having true relationships.
And before you move on, I just wanted to mention in your teacher packet, there's this response to, BMS response to struggles in the classroom. This was a collaborative effort of our student support team, which is our counselors, our SEL team, our school psychologist, our social worker, and how are we, helping teachers focus on how do they respond to student struggle and looking inward of what are they bringing to issues that they're having with students, and ask themselves 4 questions. What am I feeling right now? What does this student need, expect, or want? How is the environment affecting the situation? How can I best respond? And really build that self-awareness of how they can help de-escalate and redirect students. And that's what the classroom managed behavior document is to take the expertise in our own building from 5th through 8th grade and build a resource of strategies to have teachers refer back to just to help build their repertoire of strategies. And then instead of sending students out to receive support, we've really triaged how are we going to push into support and call for social workers, our SEL liaisons, our counselors, our assistant principals to do a soft entry into the class, to talk with that student privately or just try to redirect the behaviors without having kids be sent out of the classrooms. And we've noticed a marked difference with focusing with teachers, helping them build their repertoire of strategies, how to de-escalate, how to think about what they're bringing to it. We have significantly reduced the amount of students that are being sent out of classrooms and having their student managed behavior with an AP or counselor. And I really am very, very, very pleased with how the teachers have just had a really positive, open mindset about how can they approach situations differently and how can they bring that relationship focus to our student management. In the very beginning of the year, I gave everybody, let them choose a glass heart as just like a touchstone of how am I going to lead with heart and lead with compassion when focusing on student management, because it's not easy sometimes. Middle schoolers, sometimes they talk back, and it's not all that respectfully at times. So, and not just realizing that that's the age and coming at it with an open mind. It's been really positive. And we're very pleased with the work that the teachers are putting in.
Yes.
So our work focusing with students has really been establishing system structures of expectations, and I'm going to refer a little bit to the student packet of handouts that we have. Our SEL team for the district had redesigned the district creed of having students be respectful, responsible, safe, and determined. And our PLC, after our work at the conference this summer, came up with the goal with the goal statement of how are we going to build off having a safe school. And we're really trying to empower students. And every day we say this message as many times as we can. BMS is where students are determined to be respectful, responsible, and safe. We implemented a behavior matrix, which is in your packet. And we took those pillars within the creed and really broke it down to how does this look to be respectful, responsible, safe, and determined in the classroom, in the hallways, the bus, the cafeteria, the bathrooms, the assembly. And we are treating this like math facts, where you have to repeat them over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So it just commits it to memory without having to think. And I am absolutely astonished at how well students have really responded to these systems and structures and these classroom lessons and their ability to reflect on their own choices and behaviors and approach things a little bit differently. We've also put in, a no cell phone policy at the middle schools. They have to be in their lockers at all times. That has truly impacted and decreased the amount of social conflicts that are having, or cyberbullying and just nasty comments that are happening. They're just not even part of the equation now, and the students are responding so well. We have only a very, very, very small percentage where we had to increase our level of consequences for having the cell phones in the class. Dress code policy, again, kids are just responding beautifully to our expectations. And that academic eligibility policy that you guys passed over the summer has really helped put an emphasis on we're here for academics and academics matter. And to have that system of accountability, it's really been a positive response from students and shifting into we need to be responsible in our learning as well. So one of the things that we're really trying to do is empower student leadership. And each month we have created a shortened schedule so that we can have a leadership assembly which focuses on respect and responsibility. We're taking this opportunity to bring the school together. Well, it's 7, 8, and 5, 6 assemblies just because the auditorium doesn't really hold the whole school. But we're taking the time to really dig in and teach them what it looks like to be responsible and respectful, and how does that look in different situations, and just ask them some questions for them to really reflect. And a big portion of what we're focusing on is how do we respond respectfully. And again, adolescence is the time to push back, it's the time to argue, it's the time to, spread your wings and try to figure out who you are, and a lot of times rule breaking is part of that process. But how are you responding respectfully when you disagree with an adult? And we're just trying to give the time and effort and energy and scaffolding and examples of how they can change their approach. Just like we're asking teachers to think about themselves and their approach, we're asking students to be really respectful about how they're approaching expectations and when expectations aren't aligning. I'm going to let Kristen speak a little bit more about what we're doing with students to have them be reflective and empower them as leaders.
The last page of the student packet shows an example of our reflection sheet. We have a variety of them to capture each kind of student that we work with. So this is a standard one, but we have ones that look a little different for kids that are more more drawn into maybe a box format or circle, less writing, more visual. And then we have the kid fill this out completely, and then we sit and we talk about it. What went on? It's not a blame. What went on? Tell me what went on. What would you do differently next time? You've thought about it. Let's talk about it. Let's come up with a plan. And for the kids who need a little bit more, our tier 3, we have more specific, more detailed plans that we offer. for students who just need a little bit more. We were looking at each student as an individual and trying to respond to each student's needs.
Got you all lost with our packet, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm gonna make sure that I have mine. I think this is yours. Oh, sorry.
Lots of papers, this is yours.
We each have our own notes, sorry. I think the power of self-reflection is really one of the greatest tools that we can help build with our teachers and with our students. Stopping to have these discussions every time that you're making a mistake, and really looking inside yourself to how could you approach it differently and set goals has really been the crux of the work that we've been doing with students, and having them set goals for how they will choose to respond differently, or a different choice that they would make, how it impacts people, and the mediations that we're having, student to student and student to teachers, to repair the relationship. We're using this term a lot, like you're having bruised relationships when you have a conflict, and how do we help soothe the bruise? Coming together, being reflective, and actively trying to make different choices next time you're in similar situations. We're really focusing, it's not on the mistakes that you're making, it's how you're being reflective as a person, and more importantly, what goals are you having for yourself, and how are you going to try to not repeat those mistakes over and over and over. And again, teachers and students are really responding very positively to that reflection. I'm going to turn it over to Kristen for this piece as well.
So we wanted to have BMS be seen as a place not only of high standards and high expectations, but also a place where we can have fun. And we had this amazing event in the fall. The weather was just beautiful, where we had a fall pep rally. Everybody was outside on the field, everybody. And the staff kicked it off with a dance. They did, what's it called? The
Hot Night Joe.
Hot Night Show.
And
And a few other
Just a
compilation.
compilation, thank you.
Compilation of a few dances, and the kids just thought that was the best thing going. And then we got the kids up and moving, and you can see here in this picture, they had a relay race where they had to race down and then turn around and pop a balloon that was on a chair. So we had staff members that were making sure the chairs didn't fall over, and the kids were bouncing up and down on these balloons, trying to pop them, running back at someone else. We had students that toilet papered a teacher, had to roll them up completely. We had collaborative games where kids had to pass footballs using their feet from teammate to teammate. The kids, this was a staff member and child, kid group activity where you had to roll a hula hoop all the way around your circle, and how many times you could get it around in a certain amount of time, you won an award. And it was just a great day where we really had a community, a sense of true community, where we came together, we enjoyed each other, we had a lot of fun. And
I just want to point out that the music department and the band,
yes.
they provided all of the pep rally music, which was a lot of fun, and really just brought that game in sports, kind of energy to it. And we highlighted all of the fall teams that were playing sports that fall, which was a nice time for them to get up and shine in front of their peers. And you want to talk about the 7th grade winners?
Oh, well, they won. they were just so excited. They got the most points. So this group of students, our 7th graders, earned the most points during the pep rally, and I don't remember what the reward was. I think it was just a celebration.
It was a very
odd
baby and disturbing trophy that was made by one of our teachers.
Yep. And we have a short video to show you.
So this is just an example of bringing our school together, our school community together, to have fun, to work together, to problem solve, to celebrate and grow, and foster leadership skills in a really fun and engaging way. And every the whole entire event exceeded our expectations. Teachers and students were just absolutely thrilled about what a positive school event that was, and it just is going to make us want to do even more. So also, we're trying to really build community and family involvement. Our parent-teacher group has really wanted to re-energize their focus in the school. They do a lot of fundraising, but it didn't always translate into tangible activities for kids. So our goal is to, every 6 weeks, to have some sort of student focus where they're helping us fund it and organize it. This is our fall family night, and having one-on-one interviews with just about everybody, getting to know people and building relationships. It was evident very, very quickly that family night is a time-honored tradition at BMS that, our social emotional learning group and our parent-teacher group really just wanted to bring it and just double our efforts and try to have a really great family night. So we made it a fall fest. We had 13 community partner groups come in to have different displays, and we had our bike raffle that we typically have. We had the drug dog, this dog just laid on you. It was so cute, and just couldn't handle enough petting. But our PTG pretty much funded a trunk or treat, but it was indoors. All of the candy. They provided everything for pumpkin painting and pumpkins. They brought the pumpkin chucker out to the field, and we're throwing pumpkins with that machine with our CTE teachers. It was just a really great opportunity to pull kids in and pull families in and just have a great, we had a spaghetti dinner, and so we fed them and gave them tons of candy, and we had 220 people attend our family night. It had been I'm sorry, that was a great turnout. It exceeded our goal. 200 has always been the goal, and we said, well, we're gonna meet that, and we exceeded it. So we're really excited. The PTG, we're in the process of planning a winter, I don't know what we're gonna call it, but like a hot cocoa movie night for grades 5 and 6, and bring them in the evening, and again, feed them a lot of food, give them a lot of candy, watch the new Inside Out movie about emotions, and just bring those kids in and just have a lot of fun, and we're looking to plan 7th and 8th grade activities. So we're really going to meet that goal of every 6 weeks having some sort of either student activity or community activity and bringing families in. So everything that we are doing at BMS is to build a positive community. We're intentionally creating opportunities where students feel connected through a wide range of activities. And we're really hoping to continue to build momentum with the positive changes that we're experiencing. And we really look forward to shifting to our district goals 3 and 4 through our PLC work to strengthen curriculum instruction and learning at BMS while we're building a positive community in a safe, structured, fun environment. So those are our updates for BMS. Do you have any questions? Yeah, that's okay.
I don't kind of mean to overstep. You guys talked about a lot about the community and building a positive community and respect, which is really great. But I'm noticing on this discipline list, and as well as the sheet, fights and physical altercations are notably absent, which I feel like is a big issue with the community, and that does carry on. I'm kind of very connected with our community and with our teachers, and just last year we had a teacher get injured with the fights. I'm not kind of seeing anything about the procedure for that. I'm seeing tipping and leaning in a chair for endangering, and physical touching, which is kind of vague, and just an X to check. Do you have can you talk more about the procedures and what you're doing to address this issue?
Yeah, so that specifically is how we're helping teachers manage classroom behaviors. In addition to that, as our student counselor or our student support team, we're talking about counselor and mental health managed behaviors, and administratively, we're doing the same work for administrative managed behaviors. We're making sure that we are lockstep in our expectations in response to bigger disciplinary actions, fights, physical aggression, planned fights, taping fights, recording it, distributing it to people. And our admin team is also, we're not quite ready to share what that looks like, but we're also building a resource for how are we typically responding to a first-time offense for a physical conflict, or a physical conflict, a consequence looks different for a 10-year-old at 5th grade than it does for an 8th grader, or kids that are having repeat offenses. So we're taking a very serious, very strict approach to to anything physically that's unsafe at the school. And I am happy to respond. We have had 2 small physical conflicts in the past 4 weeks. We have celebrated with the school. The first, it was 9 days that on Halloween that we had no physical instances at the middle school. And I ran around in a dinosaur costume and gave candy to every single pet. Then the next week, we had made it through 3 weeks. We had a small, well, we had an issue. It was in an after-school activity, but we weren't counting it because it wasn't school hours. But we got to week 3 and kids were going around. Did we make it 3 weeks without physical issue? And we said yes, and we had to celebrate that. You know, we're well into our short week. Last week was week 4. Again, we had a small, minor physical, you know, like a pushing, shoving out of anger, but the large-scale behaviors and fights, we're really seeing, you know, a huge decrease on that.
So you said there's like, obviously you're working on a plan. Can you share like what the current procedure, I guess, is? Or disciplinary actions when like a physical altercation happens to ensure it doesn't repeat or
any
spread.
physical conflict that's happening at school is an automatic 2-day out-of-school suspension without any past history, and it's going up according to situation and severity. But if you're engaged, whether you start it or you participate in it, whether you initiate it or not, it's just a standard 2 days out-of-school suspension, because we're just sending a very clear message that we are not tolerating physical conflicts at the school. But it's more than that. We're at a point where kids are turning to us, talking about, parents are reaching out to us saying there was a conflict that happened, it's going to come into school. We're getting kids together, we're pulling them from class, we're doing restorative circles, we're having conversations, and we're having a huge increase with kids coming to the trusted adults saying, I'm having a problem, or my friends are having a problem. We don't want this to be unsafe. We don't want people to get in trouble. We don't want people to get hurt. So we're actually spending far more time talking things out than we are, you know, addressing a situation after it happened. We're spending a lot of time addressing them as they come up. And kids are turning to us, and they're talking to us, and they're coming to us for support. And even the one situation where I talked about where somebody pushed another kid out of frustration and anger, you know, he wrote an apology note to the assistant principal and myself saying, you know, our goal is to have a safe school. I'm sorry that my actions didn't meet that. We're not going to have a violent school, and I will promise you I won't approach things like I did. And that reflection, and then to pull that kid in and talk about it. Somebody made him write an apology note. I'm a big fan of apology notes. They know that. We do a lot of apology notes. So the fact that we got one and like they're mimicking, you know, what we're saying to them. This is just not the type of school that we're going to have. And the kids are rising to the challenge. They're rising to really high expectations. But it's the conversations that we've had after these instances which has helped prevent them or get ahead of them and turn to problem solving instead of reaction.
Okay, so the same kids involved, then after you talk to them and issue discipline, it's not an issue after that?
Well, I can't say it's not an issue. There's definitely groups of kids that we're having to come back to every, you know, week or so, or week or 2 weeks, that there's something that had come up that they're arguing or upset about, but they're turning to us and we're talking about it. We're having far more community circles. So, and they're not choosing to come to school and take out their aggression or plan it at school. They're choosing to talk to their parents about it, or they're choosing to talk to our mental health team or our administrators. And that's empowering student leadership, that they're making different choices. The conflicts are always going to be there. It's how they handle them in the conflicts. That's what we're trying to change. So then you guys will see that in high school. We'll get it all out of them, and we'll help make high school, you know, the same way. But those are great questions.
Just to touch on it, that
Yeah.
kind of, first, that was a great question. As long as I've been on the board, I don't think we've had someone come out and ask some tough
Yeah.
questions like that.
That's
So
great.
great job with that.
Yeah.
Having the privilege of working with some of those, your student body with one of the modified sports programs, definitely saw a difference. They weren't as argumentative. They were willing to listen, and I think that's a true from what you are doing in the school, what your team is doing. Hearing them come to practices and talk about what they're doing at school is they're putting that academic first. So great job. Very happy with what's going on over there.
Thank you. Thank you. So just keep looking forward to good things at BMS.
Thank you, nice
All
job.
right,
Thank you very much.
All right, now next up
All right.
is Mr. Smith.
Yes, thank you. So a couple things to share this weekend is our annual fall play by our BHS Production Club, Little Women, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday matinee. Winter sports began this afternoon. More practices are going to start this week, so good luck to our winter sports athletes who begin this week. Our fall season wrapped up on Saturday with a tough loss against Eastridge, but well done to all our fall athletic teams. This week, Wednesday, I'm meeting with Assemblyman Steve Hawley in Elba. Soon going to be budget season, so the Genesee County Superintendents, we're going to meet with him on Wednesday and have lunch and talk politics and budget. I want to congratulate some music students. Gianna Grillo, Sam Grillo, and Kelsey Kirkwood attended the Area All-State Music Festival in Newark this past week, and that's the next level up from All-County. And Faith Geist participated in orchestra. A few of you were at the Veterans Day Assembly last Thursday, which was very well attended. We had several veterans there, more than we've had in the past. There was an article in the Daily News that our principal and Dr. Corey are working on an ROTC update at BHS. This came up at a last board meeting, so that is underway. And the Veterans Assembly itself was very nice as well. Congratulations to Anna DeRizio and Joshua Sprague. I attended a Stop DWI luncheon Friday afternoon, sponsored by the Genesee County Stop DWI, and they each won a prize for their posters against DWI. In December, Annie's going to give us an update on the long-range budget plan for this year and the coming years. And finally, Thanksgiving wishes to everybody out there watching in Facebook land. And we'll be off next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Student ex officios report. Cameron, you're up.
My report was already short, but Mr. Smith actually cut a lot of it out. So yeah, this week there hasn't been much to report on. Chorus's winter concert came to a close 2 weekends ago, and there are many positive remarks from parents and community members. Batavia's Drama and Production Club is gearing up for their spring musical, which is going to be Newsies. Audition packets are now live, and the director encourages all students to try out. The senior class is currently fundraising with popcorn for their senior trip. Students interested are to create a website which allows for direct donations to their trip with a purchase of double good popcorn. Many students last year were able to cover the cost of their entire trip with this fundraiser, and we are optimistic for the same result this year given the excitement surrounding the senior trip. The Justice and Health Academies are being very active in the local community. Health Academy is continuing with their clinical shadows at UMMC, the medical campus, and we are participating in activities with the students at the New York School of the Blind. Justice Academy visited the ICE prison in Batavia and will be visiting the Sheriff's Office and Mercy Flight as well. There will potentially be a Friendsgiving between the two academies in the near future that the Health Academy teacher is planning. Honestly, that's it.
Okay. All right. At this time, we're going to have a call for executive session. So I'm going to need a motion for that. To go into executive session, we will be going in to discuss matters relating to the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Ms. Benedict, can I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Ledbetter?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And we are returning to, right? We are coming back.
We will be coming back, yes.
Okay, so just, nice job. We'll be
Thanks, Jen.
I didn't know if you had already.
We did inside, yeah, we did.
You wrote it down, right? Did you write it down?
I have it written down.
It was John and Joe's.
First was Mr. Regal. Second was Mr. Roll.
Brittany, I need to abstain from letter I, number 2.
And consent?
Yes, ma'am.
I, number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other things for anybody?
That's good.
All right, take it away.
All right, we're now in consent grouping. I need a motion to approve the grouping of consent items. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Regal, can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Roll.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Go ahead.
Is the appointment within
It's-
this
yeah,
consent item?
Yes.
Which one is it?
Um,
I don't see it.
3, I3.
I vote no on number 3. I3.
I've got to go back and do it like that. And then all the way back to where John was.
Sorry.
You good?
And which one is it a no for?
I3.
I3.
Everyone ready? Ready to go?
Yep.
While we're waiting, I'd like to introduce Mariah Lespina. Mariah was just approved as our newest high school assistant principal. What, did you vote yet?
All right, so I think
Never mind, hang on to that
first
thought.
was Regal.
First was Regal,
Second?
was
Yes.
Roll.
Okay. All right, so I have Jen abstaining for one, Alice Ann saying no to another, and other than that, for consent, are we unanimous on everything else?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now, welcome to, I want to first welcome to our new high school assistant principal, Mariah Lespina. Mariah comes to us from experience at Albion, comes highly recommended, and welcome to Mariah. She's going to begin on December 23rd at the high school, so welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And we just approved Jessica Corzelis to begin as the principal of Robert Morris on January 5th, 2025, so welcome aboard to Jessica as well. Congratulations. And we look forward to your success here down the road. Welcome aboard.
Thanks so much. Can't wait.
Ladies, if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. If not, you can leave. But ladies, listen, congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
We look forward to great things from both of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Excited to get
Thank you.
started.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Take care.
All right, we're now on to M, new business. Policy updates from Erie 1 BOCES policy audit recommended by the board policy committee with request to waive second reading. Are there any questions on that?
So we met on this, Ches and I and Barb met last week or so, and we got some feedback from them, and they recommended the approval, at least from that meeting. So that's all that is.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please? So moved. Mr. Regal, can I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Lampe?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, now we're on to N, discussion and or other reports. All the administrative reports, curriculum, operations, and business are all online. Please take your leisure looking at those. Board goal updates. Trying to think. Finished up, we did have a tour of the library, which was something. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm only used to seeing the library when you walk in and you see all the books and the computers and everything else. When you actually get the tour and you go down into the basement and go through the, I guess I'll call them the catacombs of the library, it was eye-opening, I guess you might say. But it was very interesting, very interesting. Some other goals, I mean, I made it to the last open house. I know everybody else has their tours that they'll be doing.
Newsletter has an article from you at this time.
Oh, yeah, I have an article for in the newsletter that's coming out. So, see, anybody else got anything they want to add? No? All right. Now, are there any board member comments or news to share or anything like that? Anybody?
Of course, I always got something. So, we just appointed Jessica Robert Morris principal, so congratulations to her, but I think a big thank you to Mrs. Notaro, who's been balancing 2 schools for the last 2 years. She's done a tremendous job, so a big thank you to her for doing that. And being the football guy, you have to give Alex Belts and the Blue Devils a shout out. Undefeated football season, tough loss on Saturday, but a great season for our football team.
Absolutely. Anything else?
I'm going to shout out the volleyball team
Yes.
for a 12-year drought of not beating HFL. That felt good.
Congratulations
so they finally
to them.
beat them. Knocked them out of sectionals run, which is always nice.
It's always nice to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else, anybody? No? All right. We're going to have another call for executive session. We will not return to public session. This is a motion needed to go to executive session to discuss matters relating to the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and matters of student discipline or specific student placement and or program, or that would otherwise disclose confidential, personally identifiable student information. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Ms. Anderson, could I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Benedict?